Of the pipeline, of the original pipeline, of the 5, who's the best athlete?
I'm kind of curious to see what you'd say about this.
I don't know.
And you can say it yourself.
Look, I think this is part of what we're really going to be able to get into some Friday, and then I think in these future conversations. But I think back to Zach Wiegert and I playing racquetball. And
Jesus, hold on. I got 2 6'5", 6'6" guys. 3. What were you back in playing?
I wasn't. They were way bigger. I was maybe 290.
290.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Rob,
they were fucking playing racquetball.
They were way bigger. I was only 290.
But we were done, and there was a basketball, and Zach said, "Let me see you dunk." And I said, "You can't dunk." And so he said, "Let me see you dunk." And I grabbed the basketball, and I get up, and I get just over the rim. Kind of sissy, but enough. You call it. It's legit enough.
Technically,
and he grabs it, and I'll never forget. It was just us. He grabbed the basketball and does a 360 two-handed gorilla slam dunk. Fast forward 20-something years, we were doing a photo shoot down in where was that? Down as far southeast Nebraska, and they had us standing in front of cornrows. All the pipeline.
Oh,
guys.
that's
Johnny
right.
Rogers was there. And did you see him do this? By the way, if you didn't, I'm hoping you did. We're walking back. And behind in this cornfield, but in this guy's backyard. So we have this photo op, and we're walking, and there's this guy's a driveway, and there's a basketball hoop, and there's a basketball laying there. I said, "You can't dunk it, Wiegert."
Yeah.
And he looked at me, and he picks up the ball. He's 49 years old, and he slam dunks it. And I just think, look, hands down, Brendan and Rob were freakish strong, freakish.
We were the weight room.
We went in and we'd work out together afterwards, and if it's bench day or whatever. And Brendan, it's just even a painful thing, but he'd put 225 on. Okay, we warmed up 220. Then we go to 315.
I've never benched 225 in my life.
Yeah,
you were a quarterback.
Right.
Thanks. Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, if Brendan, if the story, because I wasn't there, you were, but apparently if they would have counted, 4 or 5 reps at the combine, then he would have set the all-time record. Was that accurate? At the bench?
So Brendan's stronger than you?
It depends on
bench.
Bench
Press. I can
Listen,
I will go to my grave swearing I can squat more than I could squat more than Brendan. He could outbench
anybody. That's
the planet.
Listen, Rob and I have trained together when we were in the NFL. He was playing with the Giants. I was playing with the Cardinals. And I called him. I said, "Listen, what are you doing for training?" He said, "Well, I'm going to be in Lincoln." I said, "I'm going to come back." Brought my wife. We had no kids this time. And we're going to train together.
Yeah, we spent a summer working out together.
And you got to understand, it's like, he's like a big brother to me. So it's not like I could tell him we're going to do some of this, whatever. But I was like, I didn't even want to mess with it. I'm like, what are we doing? Chins and dips. Like, wait, nope, chins and dips. That's all we're going to do. And we start to do, we're doing pull-ups. And I'm 300 pounds. He's 335, right? And he's like, okay, so let's warm up with 8 or let's warm up with a set of 10 or 12, just pull-ups. I'm like, Rob, I don't think I can do 10 or 12 pull-ups, right? And I get to like 6, and he's like helping me do whatever. And so now we start strapping weights around. He would strap 2 45-pound plates around his waist.
You fucking freak.
And he would do multiple reps with 400 pounds. I'm like, It
was a grip strength.
No.
Holding is key.
Rob, you got to understand.
Grip strength is key, Trey.
Okay, let's go back to grade school. You guys remember the presidential physical fitness test?
I hated that test.
What do you mean? How did you hate that? Because you had to run the 600? I had to do like pull-ups. I couldn't do – still today couldn't do like 3.
Hold your chin over the bar?
The girls did that, didn't they?
I don't know.
Yeah. But I couldn't do that. You put 45s on your side?
I did pull-ups. We had a guy named John Dunn. He was an old Penn State dude who was our one of our strength coaches with the Giants under Jim Fossil. You know Fossil. Oh, yeah. He was an Arizona
coordinator.
Guy. Yeah.
Cardinals. Loved him.
Great dude.
Mm-hmm.
He so his strength coach was a guy, John Mother Dunn. John was a big pull-up guy. So that's where I got the pull-ups from.
Yeah. So then after, fast forward another 2 or 3 years, Brendan and I signed with the Kansas City Chiefs. And he doesn't tell me. He signs the day before I do or 2 days before I show up.
You never end up playing for the Chiefs, did you?
He pulls a Zatechka, doesn't tell you anything.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's a lot to that, Travis. He he shows up and I walk in the locker room and he's like, "Hey G," and I'm like, "What? Like, what are you doing here?" They didn't. And he's like, "They signed us. We're playing together." I'm like, "No way." So we go to our first workout in the Kansas City Chiefs weight room, right? And we are just Brandon and I, we get together, we just talk. It's like you can get it from Rob all the time, but it's just catching
I
up,
just listened to
whatever.
Rob. He didn't shut the fuck up.
And we're in the Kansas City weight room. We know nobody. I'm like, hey, there's Warren Moon, there's Andre Rison, there's Tony Gonzalez. We don't know them yet. We don't know anybody. We're talking. And the strength coach, we've got our little workout cards in our hands, and the strength coach comes over and he says, "Hey, you guys need to stop talking and start working out." I remember Brendan, the look he gave this. We don't know who this guy is. He's a Kansas City strength coach, and he looks at him like, "If you ever tell me to work out again." No, he gave him that look, and he goes, "All right, what are we doing?" And I remember on the card it said we had to do 15 reps of dumbbell bench press. So when you work out with these two guys, it's like you feel embarrassed. I remember looking at Brendan, like he's like, "All right, what are you doing? How much are you going to do?" I'm like, "I don't know, like the 140s," and kind of feeling embarrassed. So I'm going to do 140-pound dumbbells for 15 reps. And I sit down and I lay back and I'm like, 14, barely. And he's helping me, 15, whatever, drop it. He's like, "All right, good job, get up." Or he's like, "Get out of the way." And he starts, and the dumbbells are lined up from 5 to 185 in the Kansas City Chiefs weight room. And he stands up. The coach is standing with his arms folded watching us, right? See the Nebraska guys, whatever. So Brendan goes, do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. And he starts walking down and he's looking, he's do-do-do-do-do. And he goes up to the 185s and goes, and blows on them as if to say, "I'm blowing the dirt off of them." Because nobody has lifted these things. He sits down. He sits down, and I'll never forget. He was just, you got to know style like we do. He's laying back. I'm like, "You want to lift?" And he's like, "No." And he sits back and he starts doing it. And he starts going, ah. And the coach is looking at him, and he's going, ah. He pauses on 14, and he goes 14, and he comes down, and the 15th rep, he throws them across the room. And he stands up and he says, "We need more weight in here. Not enough weight in your weight room. Don't ever tell me to lift again." Swear to God. And that's when he says, "Who's stronger?" What do you want? I mean, I don't know, dudes.
Here I'm laughing so hard.
Oh my gosh. But
what did he do? What did the coach do?
He didn't know how to react. I mean, hell, he's never seen it.